So this is a 3mm shell rolled hem foot. As you can see, we've got the little coil at the front here which is actually going to roll our hem for us, and if we turn it over you can see the channel down the back which is actually the width of your finished 3mm rolled hem. So we're going to prepare the fabric for going through the machine. Pop that on. Need to make sure my IDF is off with this one because it's not an IDF foot. So I'm going to sew this rather slinky silky material. This is very much like you get silk scarves made out of, and what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to actually sew a row of straight stitches so that I've actually got some thread to get hold of. It helps to control the material. So I'm just going to go to the start, obviously put it in the wrong way round, and I'm just going to sew a row of stitches off the end of the fabric. That's it. All I need to do, and leave myself some nice long tails on there so that I've actually got something to get hold of while the while the seam is being started. So I'm just going to take off those extra little bits of thread there, get them out of the way. Now what I need to do is actually start the hem off by actually ironing in the first inch or so of the rolled hem to get us started. So I've ironed that in, and all we need to do now is get that underneath the foot. So I'm just going to lay that down. This is the bit that can be a little bit fiddly, but a little bit of practice gets us a long way, and of course having put these tails on makes it much easier to get that under the foot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the foot at the hover position, and it helps keep that roll in while I'm getting it underneath the foot. So there we go. You see how helpful that little tail that we sewed on has come to be. There we go. And drop the foot down. Okay, I'm going to set the stitch. I'm going to set a zigzag. Now it recommends that you do a zigzag stitch 3 to 4 millimeters wide and 3 millimeters long, and I'm going to do it with that to start off with and just show you how that turns out. Needle down. There we go. And I'm just going to sew the first few stitches. If need be, just hold those threads at the back while you get it started. Right, got a few stitches in there. Now I'm actually going to flick the fabric into that curl at the front of the foot. So a sharp pointy tool like this is really, really useful. There you go, you can see that go in there. So now we've actually got that fabric beginning to curl over. So I'm going to put the foot down, and I'm going to turn the needle down off. And the reason for that is if it stops at this side, it's actually off the edge of the fabric and the fabric will be loose, so I don't want it to move when I stop. We're just going to hold that edge up, and we're going to start to sew. And as you can see, it's got a life of its own, but we are going to control it. And what I'm watching is, it's quite useful because this has got lines of spots on it. I'm looking at where that is in relation to this edge of the foot here, where the curl starts. And you can see already coming out the back, we've actually got that zigzag finish on the edge. So I'm going to keep going with that. Okay, so I don't know if you can see at the back there, we've got that already coming through. That's doing quite well actually. I'm going to lengthen the stitch up slightly, and I'm going to I think up the top tension, yes, because I can get where the threads cross actually on the edge of the rolled hem, which will look quite nice. So play about with the tension and things, get it where you want it to go. So because I've got the deluxe stitch system here, it's set to 50 as a default. I'm going to go up to 70, and I'm going to take the stitch length up to 4 millimeters. So I haven't messed with the stitch width at all, just the length. So again, hold that edge up. We can control where the actual fold is. Yeah, I'm really liking the way that's coming out now. Can you see that? That looks lovely. You'd obviously do it in matching thread, not thread you can see, but for the purpose of the demonstration, it's actually quite useful for you to be able to see it. So I'm going to carry on with that. And of course, if you're doing something that's got a slight curve in it, which you may be doing if you're doing dressmaking, it might be the hem of the top or something like that, you can just obviously keep a little bit of tension on this top edge and it will go round gentle curves. Won't do very, very deep ones, but it will certainly do gentle curves. Right, take that out of the machine. And there's our shell rolled hem. Look at that. You see what I mean about getting the stitching to meet at the edge? That just crosses over on the very edge of the fabric, whereas down here it was crossing over more on the back. So a little bit of twiddling around with the tension will get you the desired result, but I'm really, really pleased with that. Super.